I don't even go to Canada anymore. I won't go to Canada for a UFC. I don't go over there.
Man, I've spent my whole life in the northern tier states, but I've remained somewhat oblivious to political movements in Canada.
Well, they don't have free speech up there. They don't have a First Amendment. They have different laws. They have hate speech laws, which are very dangerous because who defines hate speech?
Yeah.
You know, like, so hate speech laws in Canada, they refer to gender pronouns now. So, like, not just male, female. Like, if if Caitlyn Jenner decides that she's a girl, like, Bruce Jenner decides he's a girl, now you have to call him Caitlyn. If you don't, that's hate speech. Like, okay, maybe that's debatable. Maybe you're being an asshole. But no, they want, like, all 78 fake genders, like Z, Zer, and all these fucking crazy fake ones, and they, thems, and...
Well, that's where, like, I mean, isn't that conversation what spawned kind of the ascendancy of Jordan Peterson, 100%. Right? Coming out of Canada.
Well, that's how Jordan and I became friends.
Yeah.
In 2015. And then Jordan did my podcast, and then Jordan became a famous guy for speaking out against this.
Yeah.
He's going through some sort of bizarre re-education process in Canada, and he's going to publicize it because it's so ludicrous. So they want to educate him on like what he talks about on social media if he wants to keep his clinical license to practice as a psychotherapist.
Oh, is that right?
But he doesn't want to practice anyway. He makes far more money doing what they've essentially made a monster. They made him way more famous than he ever would have been before.
Yeah.
They highlighted all of Canada's problems way more than would ever get highlighted without this persecution of this guy. It's kind of crazy though.
Yeah.
So he's going through it. He's like, "Fuck you! I'll go through it, and I'll go through it publicly." You guys are idiots. Also, you're going to have to
knowing what the outcome will be.
Well, knowing he's going to trounce them. Like, good luck debating that guy.
Yeah.
Good fucking luck. Like, good luck. Like, who do you got on your side that's going to go up against that guy? Like, shut the fuck up. Who on your creepy, authoritarian, totalitarian regime is going to stand up and make sense competing against Jordan Peterson? Good fucking luck.
I wouldn't want the job.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck debating that guy. It's just the whole situation up there is just like so fucked. And I don't know too much about that Pierre Polivet guy, but I hope that, you know, there's some sort of meaningful change up there that could bring. I used to love Canada. I used to say Canada is like America, but with like 20% less douchebags. They were so friendly. They're so nice. I used to love going to Montreal. I used to love going to Vancouver. I loved it up there. But the woke shit hit there so hard because they don't have freedom of speech. They don't have a First Amendment. So when they start clamping down on your ability to express yourself, like, there's really disastrous implications.
Yeah. But there will probably be a course correction now, which seems like just generally on free speech issues, there's a radical course correction right now.
Sure. Or you become Iran.
Oh, yeah. You roll
like,
that way.
Yeah, I mean, course correction doesn't always work. Like, you know, we think it works because it works in America. And it works in America because we have the First Amendment and we have the Second Amendment. And those two things work together. And if we didn't have those things, we would be genuinely fucked. Because every government wants to eventually completely and totally control its population because it's way easier for them to make money. And that's what they like to do.
Yeah.
They like to make money. They like to be in bed with the lobbyists and the military-industrial complex and the pharmaceutical-industrial complex, and they like to fucking impose their will on people. And if you can't express yourself and say, hey, this is fucked up, this is crazy, why am I doing this? Like, these studies show that you're not correct. Like, if you can't say all those things, which right now you can't do in Canada, it's not the same. Like, their ability to express themselves on the internet has been severely limited. It's real weird, man. It's real weird, and it's happening right. You could walk there. If you wanted to, you could walk there. And it's fucked. It's like it's on the same patch of land as us, and it's fucked. It just shows you what can happen here if you don't have the right laws. Because people like that fuckhead, Justin, they pretend
you guys are on first name basis.
Yeah, that cocksucker. They pretend that they're, and I don't talk this way about anybody.
No, I'm really surprised.
I genuinely despise people like that. And I think it's good to say it publicly because people need to understand like what these people are doing. These people are leading you on the road to legitimate communism. Like he's leading that country on a road to legitimate communism. It's very dangerous. And I think most Canadians are fed up with it at this point. It's just like the party up there has so much control. And he's been forced to resign. So he's got to step down. And, just hopefully they don't get some new slick talker to con them into the same old bullshit. Hopefully someone comes along that has like real meaningful change.
Graham Hancock explores the mystery of the Olmec civilization.
I explored the Olmec mystery in considerable depth. It's considered to be the earliest high culture of Central America. Everybody's heard about the Aztecs. Everybody's heard about the Maya. But before the Aztecs and before the Maya, there were a culture who are referred to as the Olmecs. Again, we don't know what they called themselves. That's what the Aztecs called them. They called them the Olmecs, and it means the rubber people because that rubber producing area of Mexico. They worked in giant megalithic constructions. What they're most famous for is these huge carved human heads, which can be on a scale of up to 20 to 25 tons in weight, and which have curious features which have been interpreted variously as Polynesian, African, don't look like classic Native American features.
Keep that up.
But one of the things I've realized is that there is no classic Native American feature. That Native Americans are have a very complex genetic story with very many different elements brought into it.
Joe goes on to ask Graham if he knows what the helmets are.
Nobody knows, because no physical example of such a helmet has ever been found, just like no physical example of an Egyptian pharaoh's crown has ever been found. All we see is the stone reproductions of them. There's another fascinating figure from La Venta, one of the Olmec sites, which is the earliest ever image of a plumed or feathered serpent. The feathered serpent is a famous icon. Sitting in the middle of it is this human figure who's holding this strange bag in his hand. And it's just a fact that those identical bags are found in ancient Sumer in the hands of individuals who were considered to be civilization bringers, and they also show up on Pillar 43 at Göbekli Tepe. I call them man bags. And in that case, at Göbekli Tepe, we know they're at least 11,600 years old.
Graham then tells Joe that other skulls have been found in Brazil with similar features to the Olmec heads, suggesting a broader pattern of diversity in ancient populations across the Americas.
It's been known by archaeologists for quite a long time that there are anomalous skulls in parts of Brazil, which appear to show very strongly Polynesian or African features, very much like the features that we see on the Olmec heads. And a number of archaeologists who got into trouble with their colleagues for this have used that to argue many years ago, 30, 40 years ago, that the settlement story of the Americas is much more complicated than we've realized.